Hey guys, welcome back to Play on Footy. Today we're going to be doing our recap and basically a slight review of round 23, and then I want to get into round 24 predictions. This round was pretty topsy-turvy, let's be honest. I got 5 out of 9 in the footy tipping. The ones I got wrong were the Suns versus Demons, the Magpies versus the Lions, the Saints versus the Cats, and I did tip the West Coast Eagles against Blues, so that's what brought me to 5 out of 9. Overall, I'm just going to do a quick recap of the round. No surprises that the biggest upset was probably the Magpies versus the Lions in this round, as well as the Saints versus the Cats. The Saints getting over the Cats, that was just massive, and I guess was really unexpected for the Cats. But with the Cats, if they do have a loss, the following round is going to be a big sort of revamp on how they play and trying to get back some sort of brownie points from the coach. So I predict that the Cats are really going to rock the Eagles this week. And then similarly with the Lions, hopefully they bounce back because they really can't afford another loss heading into the finals. I think the best game that I watched for round 23 was the Magpies versus Lions game. It was a really tight, contested game. Similarly, the Giants versus the Freo game, I thought I really enjoyed that contest and seeing how the Giants really worked Freo around the ground. I think Giants so far for me are probably the red hot favourites going into this finals round or final series. And the most disappointing game, obviously I'm an Eagles fan, the West Coast Eagles game versus the Blues, that was embarrassing. Not only for Andrew Gaff for his last ever AFL game, 280 AFL games I think that one was for him. It just wasn't anything. It was just like a throwaway game, and anything that Jared Schofield had built up towards basically was diminished in that game. So that was really disappointing, I suppose, not just for the individual of Andrew Gaff and seeing him off, but the actual collective of the West Coast Eagles brand and what they're trying to build, which at this stage I'm not really quite sure what they're trying to build. Okay, enough negativity. On to round 24, the last home and away basically round of the season for AFL until we get into the final series. So let's go through each and every one of these games. So we'll start off with Melbourne versus Collingwood. I'm going to be tipping Collingwood. Reason being, Melbourne have a lot of outs. They've got Clayton Oliver. Obviously, Petrarca's been out for ages. But I think Collingwood, having that sort of belief and that flukish win against the Lions, I definitely see that they're still beating. They want to play finals. I mean, what team doesn't? So I'm going to back him in. I'm going to back in Collingwood to get the W this coming Friday tomorrow. So I'm definitely pumped for them. So I'm tipping Collingwood. The next game is Cats versus Eagles. Pretty self-explanatory. Not going to take much time. Cats, I'm tipping them. GMHBA. The Eagles season is well and truly over. So Cats it is. Richmond versus Suns. Similar to the Cats versus Eagles. It's a bit of a nothing game. Obviously, both clubs are playing for pride. Dimmer against his old side, so there's a little bit of venom in there. I'm tipping the Suns, even though it's an away game. I think Suns were pretty disappointed to lose at home. It was their first loss at home for this season. I'm backing in the Suns to do it up against Richmond, and Daniel Rioli can actually show his old team around, which would be good. And then the Hawks versus North. So I'm going to be going for good one here, very good one. I think Hawks, even though they've got Will Day out and Jaith out as well, I think the Hawks will just beat North. I think it's going to be a really hotly contested game, though. I don't think it's going to be a walk in the park. I'm going to be backing in the Hawks to win that one. Next game is the Lions versus Bombers. I think Lions will get the win. It's at the Gabba. I think they've got a lot on the line, especially losing last week. So Bombers are really just playing for pride. So I'm backing the Lions. Bit of a nothing game there as well. And the next game is Swans versus Crows. Again, a bit of a nothing game for Crows, but for Swans, this is building some momentum for the final series. I'm going to be going and backing in the Swans. Bullies versus the Giants. Now this one's probably the biggest game of the round. Second to that was probably the Dockers and Port game, but I'm going to be backing in the Giants. I think what they did against Dockers, and Jesse Hogan's on fire, so I mean Brent Daniels was a real standout game in round 23, in particular against the Dockers. So I'm going to back in the Giants. I think the Giants, they've got that sort of cohesive nature about them already, and I think that's quite dangerous, even though it's not even finals yet. So I'm going to back in the Giants versus the Bullies. The reason I'm not going to go the Bullies is that they had that real sort of They just got belted by Crows, I believe it was, in Adelaide. So I'm going to back in the Giants for this game. The next one is the Blues versus Saints. I'm going to be backing the Saints. The Blues still have, injuries to Mackay and Curnow. You can't really just go off the Eagles, because the Eagles were just not on that day. That wasn't even a waffle side that they produced against the Blues. So I think I want to be backing the Saints, basically because, the Saints will go up to the Cats. So who knows? So I'm going to be backing the Saints. And the last game of the round, this one's probably the most important game for the Dockers, because they lost last round to the Giants. But I'm going to be going the Port Adelaide Football Club against the Dockers at Optus Stadium. I just think Port are probably a little bit more well-oiled, and I think with Sean Darcy being a bit of a what-if, they bring in Reedy. I'm not really sure what that's going to do for them, but overall I think Port are primed and prepped for a big final series, and Ken Hinkley must do better than a straight sets exit for this final series, definitely to keep his job. But yeah, I think I'm going to go Port. But yeah, what do you guys reckon? Comment down below, like and subscribe. Which ones or what games are you looking forward to the most? Yeah, look, last round 23, didn't want to go really into it in terms of recapping it and all that sort of stuff. So I hope you guys understand, but I thought I'd just do the predictions for round 24. And then I'm going to do another video on basically seeing what I predicted, I think, in round 19, and see how it's going to be playing out for what I predict will happen in round 24 and into the final series. So I'll see you guys soon. All right, cheers.